Hello everyone, and welcome to Ace Attorney Investigations. I bet you're expecting a normal playthrough, but this time around, we're doing something a little bit different. This time around, we're doing a live stream. And, we're gonna see how it works out. Maybe it'll work out well, maybe not, but yeah, time will tell. But for now, I'm really excited to play more Ace Attorney games, so let me just quickly do one more check here. See how we looking. How are we looking on the live stream? Oh, okay. Looking pretty good here. Alright then, well, without further ado, let's not waste any more time. And let's get started with Ace Attorney Investigations 1. New game, Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. Let's do this. What? Oh, okay. Sure. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. Unknown. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Okay then. That was a little bit confusing. I thought that was Edgeworth talking, but turns out it wasn't. But anyways, okay. Are we Edgeworth now? March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The doors are locked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze! Oh, what's that? Identify yourself. Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Where's this Edgeworth been hiding? My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m., High Prosecutor's Offices, Room 1202. I'll finish retrieving the victim's body, sir. Very well, please continue your investigation.
Yes, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir?
Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene.
When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away.
This is Dick Gumshoe. He is a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being.
You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt?
No, I'm perfectly fine. However...
Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed.
I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office.
Oh, sounds like you're getting real burnt up over this whole thing.
This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it.
Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating.
Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Just saying. I get the nagging feeling that there's something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you?
No, not really. Especially because of this.
The key to your office? What do you mean, sir?
If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you.
Logic?
By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic.
So how do you use it?
First, I record the information we've gathered with the left bumper, then I connect them together with Y. Now to use the left bumper and record the facts. Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? For some reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after?
You're really on the ball today, Miss Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir.
Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir.
I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply use A when I'm next to it.
Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use Y, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir.
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose.
Woohoo!
What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of these before.
Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think.
Detective.
I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. It's like an inside job then. Some sort.
Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games.
I had no idea you were interested in chess.
I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try.
In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What do we have here?
Hey, I think I've seen one of these before.
It's a police badge, Detective.
Oh hey, I have the exact same thing actually. What a coincidence.
Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Alright. Oh. As much as I love the music, it is a little bit loud. For me, at least. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area.
Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yep. Until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Clean through the abdomen.
Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have to press right bumper to open my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Alright. Keep that in mind.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, you just wasted all the time and effort I put in pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as well. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life?
I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight. Like not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. This rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all.
A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Oh, okay. But there's writing. There's writing on the book. It says, what does it say? Gum? Does that say gum? Gumshoe? What? Huh. Okay. I guess that's it for now.
Ah, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir.
That killer's going to pay. This tea set.
Yikes, you're really mad over this.
This tea set is very dear to my heart. It can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck.
What? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks.
It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. It's so tidy that it looks newer than when I first bought it.
Oh yeah, that thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous.
Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, Detective.
My job is to protect your office, sir.
And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it.
That's harsh, sir.
I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. At least he did something, right?
Oh, it's your trophy, the, Knight of Prosecutors, right?
King of prosecutors, and it's not a trophy, it's a shield.
They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right?
Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime.
Fortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Well, it's a good thing my steel samurai doll was spared any harm.
Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again?
Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of New Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Excuse me. Spin-offs like The Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and The Nickel Samurai, along with the deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show, gives it presence.
You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy?
Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers?
Ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All would be resolved. Wendy.
Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns?
Wendy, isn't that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that sucked?
That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further. Shudder. I hope you can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa.
That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit in on it too? Just for a little while, sir?
Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Till this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest.
You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end.
Even once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. How is it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. Do you have anything to report?
Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. Okay. Victim was a detective. Revolver. Yeah. A revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you've got to look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the right stick to rotate an object. No such thing as a bad angle. Use the left and right bumpers to zoom in and out and to get at the nitty-gritty.
To think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at the track and field meets to start races. If you take out before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead.
To chase you down for a false start, detective.
Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place.
Looks like only one round was fired from this.
Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is all about we're going to find out. We should send the body to our... Jim... What?
Oh. Wow, how could this have happened to a guy like you?
Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body? The body! Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal.
Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes, I am. I'm Jock Portman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime, busted.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess it's your office. Yes, that is correct.
That it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
We're not. I know how things work around here. How prosecutors' office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? Now the only one who could get in there was me. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You've got it all wrong.
Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hard-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call it truce and word to go, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
A pleasure to work with you.
You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all.
Thank you, I intend to.
I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there? Sir. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim.
I should probably give them some space. Alright.
I guess I can look over here now. Hi, your jacket, sir. What you doing on the floor?
It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster.
It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective? There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my detective skills come into play. First, I had to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press Y with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Alright. So, clearly the contradiction here is that this gun was only fired once. So. Eureka! This bullet hole is a contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first failed the victim, and the second failed this frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once.
Hey, that's true too.
Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight?
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
Ah, that. It's a secret safe.
A secret safe? Oh, I smell money.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that. Achoo, achoo. Talk about dusty.
I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe here, alright? I've kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Now this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensic scientist.
Yes, sir.
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir. I couldn't find that alone. I couldn't find that lift of single print. Looks like it was wiped down as well.
As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. I've already finished examining this area, but it never hurts to look again.
I never knew there was a safe hidden back here.
Well, if detectives knew about them, then they wouldn't be secret now, would they?
Are there any other secret hidden things in this room?
Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them.
But there's no, hidden camera around, right?
What if there was?
No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? Probably not. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see what we can piece together. I believe I've figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Of knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelf files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure. Let's give that a try.
Why do all the good ones always die young?
Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place.
You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay? Done.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
The blood stains on the bookshelf are all still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
But you know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture.
Oh. This is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh?
For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file's spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred.
But I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. I put them all back just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing.
Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for.
Victim's handprints.
He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot.
There are prints on the floor, too.
Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf.
The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well.
In a sense, I suppose.
See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth.
It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot.
Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it.
That would be the logical conclusion. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, because he was shot in the abdomen, right? There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
What if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against his shelf here after being shot, which says that he was standing when he was shot.
And that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is this faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Fate.
And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be.
We figure out that the killer went through your bookshelf twice.
Indeed. There are many things the killer did that don't make sense. But to figure out the whys, we need more information. Huh. This... What does it say?
What is that?
Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
Oh, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edwards, sir, help me. Say something, sir.
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after?
Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of this killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! You can be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party.
If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up.
Jim's words. They're more than enough, wouldn't you say?
If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
You got it.
I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do?
What I was doing in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Sure. Alright, first, listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with right bumper and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use Y, but that's old news.
But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and at those times, I need to press the witness with the left bumper. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony.
I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too.
Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully.
Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice.
You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer.
I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest.
Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence.
Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask.
What is it?
Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith?
Isn't it obvious? Jim is a perfect name for my companion. Doc and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Doc and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim.
Talks about the victim like he was his pet.
Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead.
You really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that?
That's true. Okay, then. Maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Miss Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary has been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. Have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal? Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but the whole thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf.
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing?
Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters?
Body was covering it up quite well, would you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it don't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone.
Can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence.
I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game finishing spike. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice.
You saying that those letters were intended for you?
Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner.
Looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters.
What are you spouting over there? Can't you just admit my logic's perfectly sound?
Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now I have to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence.
Oh, right. If he stole a file, then he must have noticed the letters.
Objection!
I get it.
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic.
Bringing a bit of decorum into this, I see. No problem. I'm game.
I can't help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office.
What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it.
If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file?
What? That's impossible.
What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing.
The files on that shelf were all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I hardly doubt that they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder.
I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files.
Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to print this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsman?
Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of an Olympic gold.
I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed.
Nah, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a sec. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. Well, Mr. Edward just proved that I'm not innocent, pal. That's absolutely right. And I acknowledge your innocence.
And why do I sense that you still have something to say?
Well, I was thinking. Did you know that there's one other person with the key to this office?
One other person?
Hey, you there.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me?
A lady?
A girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Is it... It's Maggie?
I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie. Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight.
I see. And your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you! I would never seek into someone's room! That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's a culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it was really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So, yeah, it was me. If it was, you would have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your balls, Detective. You understand what I'm saying here? That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason.
Alright. Here we go again.
It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying she used the master key?
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. I mean, there's this thing, I don't know if you've heard about it, it's called pickpocketing. It's not really that well known around the place, but it can happen. It can happen. Just saying. Seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him.
pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's here. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. Or you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bird out? Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
Can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ha! I like this story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad our luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Miss Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive?
Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't go on the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. How does he know about the safe? How does he know that someone broke into the safe? He shouldn't know that, right?
Her intent, from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery, however...
Glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me.
However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe...
Hey, good thinking. As for my opinion on the matter.
Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence?
I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who will open the door...
Hold it!
I thought we established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly.
It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning.
If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first?
Now, don't make that face. See? There goes the truth, running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it.
I don't think you're catching my drift.
But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you understand when I say... that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect.
Hold it!
Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions?
Are you saying that there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else.
I'll have you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating?
Nothing. Yes, I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. On top of which, she knows our good detective, does she?
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe?
Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know. Or when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Miss Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out gumshoe?
I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. Just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I would love to. But first, we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying. And press him for more information. Okay, It's the master key to every office in the building. Okay, thanks. Anything else? No. This badge's design is said to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict prosecutors, protectors of the law, and executors of sentences, much like harsh winter frosts and blazing summer days. To wear it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but I have no interest in doing so. Each prosecutor's badge is engraved with a number of its own on the back. Numbers. As if we're not human on the inside like everyone else.
Objection!
Okay. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss... Oh! Doy. Okay. Right. I was thinking, like, how could he know about the safe? But then I was like, okay, every prosecutor knows about the safes, and he's a prosecutor, so it makes sense. But how could Maggie know about the safe? That's the contradiction. Anyways. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth, after all.
It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors.
Ah!
I find it a little hard to believe that our hidden safe was part of a cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means that there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. And then how are you proposing that the killer's a prosecutor?
An interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses! What made you? What's with the anger face all of a sudden? It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. And that means... Yeah, I know, I had only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird?
Excuse me?
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was a thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah!
Impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, you're honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief. I don't want to admit it, but... Oops.
Sorry. I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense.
Has he no honor?
Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edwards' office. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do you have to say this? Maggie can be the culprit.
That Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But,
Sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now.
thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again.
If that's a formal request from a legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear?
To be continued. Alright. There we go. Turnabout Visitor. Part 1. Alright, okay. I think this is a good time to take a break. I'll just take a quick break and then we will resume. Alright. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Dark Mode. See if this is more preferable, I guess. Hold on. Let me just see it on stream. Does this look good? Kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Let's tilt it up a little bit. Alright. We tried it out. Didn't work. Okay. Be right back. Alright. Welcome back. Should be good now. Oops. Okay. Alright. Scooch a little bit closer so I can get closer to the mic. That should do it. Alright. Here we go. Without further ado. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Okay. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway.
What is with that prosecutor? Can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You will see, sir.
Oh, we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then, what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Hey, really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Okay. If we can find proof that he was the one who stole the key, that'd be pretty useful. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It's...
Isn't that the Missing Zero series file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth reading in them, huh?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know.
You would sleep even out here, Detective.
in a hallway. Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. Hold on. Let me see, hold on. Just real quick. Okay. We're aligned pretty quick. Oh. Sup? Black Romeo? I see you in the chat. How's it going? I enjoy all Ace Attorney games. No matter what kind of games they are, as long as you slap the Ace Attorney name on them, I will play them and I will enjoy them. And so far, I'm having a blast. The story, the music, all top great stuff. So, yeah. Alright. I don't see a check mark. Oh! I bet the thief's not under here. I guess there's enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway. I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed. Sounds to me like somebody has already tried at least once before. Sounds to me like somebody's at least tried once before. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case.
Always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth.
Can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her with why. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them.
Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with him. Almost got killed by my own coffee. Alright.
Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective?
She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, yo. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot, Detective Gumshoe, for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now, I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Excuse me. Oh. So when did you discover that the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir.
Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say, except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting on the ledge.
She used the master key. What'd you use it for? What did you mean by you use the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right! I just remembered! The prosecutor who forgot his key! It was Mr. Portsman, sir!
What? Please send me more, Miss Bird. Quickly!
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman forgot his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
That's when you loaned the master key to him?
No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone! I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
See.
And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up to his office. To come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30, I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
Talk about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Alright, there you go. Oh.
Looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. You must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got in your hands. You ever feel lost or need some advice? My door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Is everything alright?
Yes. Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning. I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
A word of advice, stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight.
Alright, hello again. Sorry about that. Fortunately, something has come up, and I think I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Let's just quickly examine this basketball, and then we'll wrap it up, okay?
What is a basketball doing here?
That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
Not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Is this... Whose door is this? Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office.
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir.
So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202?
I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd.
Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? So, he wanted access to the safe, I guess. Oh, you can't go any further anyway. Okay. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Whoops! Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir.
They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's certainly made, making it near impossible to break in by force.
It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door.
Only Gupshu would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that is a poignant trait that anyone can admire.
I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone?
Right.
That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir.
I don't see any signs of forced entry.
And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, I think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Interesting. Is that it? Okay. Is there anything we can piece together? Another handgun. Probably connect these together. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there is a flaw in your story.
What? Oh, wait, pal. Sir.
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then?
Well, I thought maybe I could go lock it after I found the key.
Oh my god. He switched the plates. He put his plate on Edgeworth's door. He had her open it and had her lock it. he didn't have to seal it because Maggie was opening it for him the whole time. He didn't even have to lay a hand on it.
To think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
It's gotta be it. It's gotta be how he did it. Oh. Could he have rearranged the files so he can hide the bullet? Is that it? Okay. Pieces don't fit together quite right. Okay. Alright, fair enough. Alright, well, we're gonna stop for now. Thankfully, we can do manual saves and stuff, so we can stop and return at any time. So yeah, was kind of hoping to finish the entire first episode today, but like I said, something came up. So yeah, I'm afraid that I'll be leaving you for now, but don't worry, I will return. Maybe today, later at another hour, or tomorrow, or whatever, but yeah, I'll let you know, and until then, farewell.